All right, friends, welcome to another episode of Secrets from the Saddle. And as I promised, the January episodes are all dedicated to cycling events globally. This one you are absolutely going to be blown away with. But before we get into anything, how are you doing? It's a Monday. What's up? So before we get into it, I just want to remind you that I have some free downloads. So if you go to askcoachsylvie.ca, there are some free downloads for you. I add some every now and then. I'm going to be adding some of my favorite cycling snacks that I put together at home for you. So stay tuned for that. But let's get into the episode. Now, this one is from Lunsar, Sierra Leone, Africa. And we're going to talk to Abdul Karim Kamara, aka Stylish, and his personal episode is going to be 195. So once you listen to him talk about his accomplishments in his racing event, the Tour de Lunsar, which is quickly becoming one of the biggest African cycling events in their country, then you're going to want to know about the person. So episode 195, you're going to be hearing all about from Stylish and how he got started with his club and into the cycling world. It's absolutely extraordinary. I am just absolutely blown away by this guy. You'll love him when you hear from him, and you'll want to support everything that he represents. So I hope you enjoy this episode. And so don't forget, we would also love a great review and 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. And you have yourself an amazing day. Take care. All right. Welcome back to another episode of Secrets from the Saddle, All Things Cycling Podcast with your host, Sylvie. So here I am sitting in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. And I have these two amazing guys who are sitting in Lunar. It's Lunar. Right? No, Lunsar, Sierra Leone, Africa. So, I'm super excited. We have Stylish and Hammer. So Stylish is an event coordinator for one of the largest cycling events in Sierra Leone. So it's called Tour de Lunsar, and he's going to be telling us all about how this event started and what's happening this year. And Hammer is one of the sponsors of the event. So we're so excited. I'm so excited that we are able to have both of them together. And here's the thing, guys. If everything gets choppy, what we're going to do is we're going to take our videos off and we're going to smooth out the audio. You can also view this on YouTube as well. So let's get into it. So first, Stylish, introduce yourself and then a little bit of how you got into cycling, and then we'll go to Hammer and his how he's involved with the Tour de Lunsar, and then right into the event. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Okay, so I am Abdul Karim Kamara, commonly called Stylish, based in Lunsar, a small mining town very close to the capital city of Sierra Leone. So originally I am from Kabala, the upper northern part of Sierra Leone, and I migrated to Lunsar 15 years ago, of which I finished my high schools there. So from there, migrating to Lunsar and migrating with a skill of which, in my time in Freetown, I was learning how to fix bikes from my neighborhood, who we stay in the same compound. So like after me learning bike skills, then I migrated to Lunsar for high school. Then when I come to Lunsar, like the first 3 months, I have nothing to do. Then I think like, hey, I have learned a skill. I need to find where I should execute my skill by fixing bicycles for people. So there I went to a man who has a small local shop, and I continued to be there as an apprentice. Then later I be there until I opened my own small bike shop, of which one day an American man was passing by. He stopped by my shop. From this shop, he met me like, what are you doing? I said, I am a bicycle mechanic. Are you a bicycle mechanic? I said, yes. You know, he said he displays his professional bike tools, of which it was my first time of seeing them. Like, you are a journalist or like a photographer, you never seen a new camera like that just produced this year. So like that was how it is. So the man introduced his tools to me. I was so amazed by the way those tools work easily. And after that, the man asked, like, do you want my tools? I said, yes, I want them. But they are, yeah, but they are for sale. I said, okay, how much do you want for them? So we are like 14 in numbers. The most interesting part, we are like 14 in numbers, including I. And I was the only one that was interested to buy the tools. The other local guy said, the guy, David Peckham, was supposed to give the tools for free because he's a white man and the white people are rich. And then so there, because I love bikes and I'm so passionate about bikes, so I went out to buy the tools from Dave, and we made an appointment for me to meet him and buy more tools. So there it started. So he asked me to go there by 9, so I was there at 8:30. And he was expecting me to reach there at 10 because in Africa we have BMT. When he asks people to come at 9, they will come late. But not knowing that, like, I can learn all these things. I went there earlier, so we wake up by 8:40. He met me at his door. He said, you are here? I said, yes, I am here to buy more tools. So there we became more interacted and more friendly. And we became like more like tight friends. I started exploring with him around, showing him. So later, not knowing that Dave is a kind of person that knows all these bikes organization in Europe and America. And Dave was shipping bikes from the US and the UK and send them to Ghana. So later we learn about each other and he find out my passion. Like I love cycling and bicycling in general. And from there, Dave started shipping me bikes. From the bikes he shipped to me, I find out that cycling is a very important thing in our country. And football is the biggest sport of which young people are enjoying. And I said, okay, cycling is another thing young people supposed to enjoy, despite it is a sport of all ages. Like, you know, an old man, a young man, like everyone can cycle, but in a more serious note, for young people to show them their talent, cycling is a good thing. So I started cycling myself, like just alone, like a crazy man, cycling up and down with all my cycling gears. And people were laughing at me because the gears sound smooth before when you dress. You started like cycling in the community. They would say, oh, you're almost naked. I said, no, this is the culture of the sport. So like I try very hard to inspire some other young people in Lunsar where I live. And from there, we ride a lot, but we have no platform to race or compete because the Sierra Leone Federation is not doing well. And they don't have the resources to organize races outside of Freetown. So like later, I learned that the Sierra Leone cycling is existing like the federation. So I met some guys in Freetown. They also dress in the same attire like the culture dress of cycling. Yeah. And when I met them, they directed me to the cycling president. When I met the cycling president, we became also best of friends, and he's so happy and passionate to meet me because like he got someone outside of Freetown that is very passionate about cycling.
Is that the Flames Cycling Club?
Yeah, the Flame Cycling Club came later after I organized
Oh,
the
okay.
Lunsar cycling. The Flame Cycling Club, like they are, I'm a mentor for them because they are trying to follow my footsteps. So
Oh, okay.
yeah. So with that, I create a platform where young people can race, like the Tour de Lunsar. We started racing between each other, like all the Lunsar guys. I fixed old bikes, like before to get road bikes was very, very hard. So I would turn mountain bikes to road bikes so that we can race to
Yeah.
each other. Later, after doing these 2 years, 3 years, so I started inviting guys in Freetown, like just guys of all ages. That you are old, young, you can race. Then we have fun. And
You
from
mean
there,
from other provinces in Sierra Leone?
yeah, of course.
Okay.
They come to Lunsar every year to race. So like with that, I see like it is something in need, and I need to have something that I can show to the world, and I need to tell the world that Sierra Leone is a better place for cycling. I need to tell the world that it's a safe place for cycling, more especially Lunsar, like the Tour de Lunsar that I'm doing. So I started putting more time and resources talking to people all over the world. And finally, I met a cycling journalist from the UK in a
Street
cycle
child race.
challenge. Yeah, street challenge, cycle challenge organized by Street Child. So I was working at the challenge as a mechanic. They're also looking after all the people that are coming from Europe to help this make a success. So from there, I was able to talk to everyone, like trying to make friends, like whosoever I meet. So there I met Tom Owen, who is the CEO and founder of Fish2 Agency. And on our way going to Liberia, because we cycle every year from Sierra Leone to Liberia, then raise money for street children that will support the organization's work. So when I met Tom Owen, he had a puncture. Then he asked me, like, are you a mechanic? I said, yes. How many minutes would you take to fix my puncture? I said, I can take 3 minutes. He said, really? I said, yes, not knowing that he has already clocking me. So he put on his clock whilst I'm fixing his puncture. Then I fix it for 2.5 minutes. So he said, wow, so you fit work for the France? I said, yes, if I have the opportunity. So he asked me, what do you want me to do for you? I said, I want your uniform cycling jerseys for my team. By then he was wearing a suit jersey that has like everything the same color of his club in the UK. So he said, really? I said, yes. What is the name of your club? I said, it is called Lonesome Cycling. So from there, not knowing Tom has these connections, like bringing people that, knowing a company that will make jersey for my team. So when he went back to the UK, he started sending me all kinds of templates to choose what kind of jersey he should make for my team. So finally, I choose one. Then I saw the set of jersey sent over to me. I was so happy with the team. Like we being the first team in Sierra Leone to wear a uniform cycling jersey. Because before, even with the federation, they have to go to a local tailor, they make a local cloth to represent the country. So we having this kind of connection, you know, we started having that big exposure. And with the Tour de Lunsar, talking to people every day and working with some Owen, started bringing out sponsors like Mohammed now, African Cup, is sponsoring the Tour de Lunsar for this year. And last year, we are able to work with one of the biggest nutrition company, Science and Sport, that which was the head sponsor of the Tour de Lunsar. So from there, the tour is integrating a lot of impact to young people's life. From the tour last year, one of our female cyclists has been shortlisted to ride for a pro cycling team in Germany, which is very good. For the first time in West Africa, a female cyclist from Sierra Leone will be representing Sierra Leone into Germany, you know, as a pro cyclist. So this is how it all started. It started with passion, with a lot of
Mm.
honesty, a lot of time, energy, and the resources, and the whole thing sacrifice. And for now, the way I live in Lunsar, cycling is the biggest sport here. The kids want to cycle, the young and old people want to cycle, and many of them want to cycle for sports, not for fun.
Oh, that's great. So how long is the Tour de Lunsar? How old is it? Like, how long has it been running for?
The Tour de Lunsar has been running now for this is the 6th edition, but since we started putting it more serious, like the tour of itself, this is like 2 years. Because last year we did the tour for 4 days, and this year again we're gonna do it for 4 days. But like it's a young tour. Before we are just doing it for only 1 day because we don't have the resources to make a 4 days ride because it entails a lot of resources. Yeah.
So it's now so this year, 2022, it's just 1 day for the tour?
No, it's 4 days tour. The first day is for the junior and the female rider. Then the third day, which is the elite category, it is for the elite riders of strong levels. And we even have some riders coming from Europe, and we have pro teams that are interested to come and cycle. This is like the global cycle team. And also we are expecting the EF education to send one of their biggest riders, maybe their female team, to come and ride the tournament. Yeah.
So how long are each one of the stages for distance?
Each one of the stages will take, the first one is 130 kilometers.
Oh.
And and the other one is 120 kilometers. And the last one is 100 kilometers.
Okay. And so is that including the junior and the women's category?
No, the junior and women's category is only cycled for 1 day.
Yeah. How long is their event? How many kilometers?
They are doing 120 kilometers.
Whoa. Yeah. So now 120 kilometers in Sierra Leone, like what kind of terrain are they going through? Are these all paved roads, or what are the roads like?
All the roads are paved roads.
Can I answer this question?
Yeah.
All right, tell us about the roads.
Because I've got like sorry.
Yeah, go on. But don't get me wrong, like the African Sierra Leone paved roads are not like roads in Europe, but we try. One of the goodest things I always try to do, I always try as much as I can to provide a safety team.
Yes.
That we be on the road and the most dangerous area. Because people knows nothing about cycling. And even when they see the peloton is coming, like the motorbike riders, they just still try to come. But now, more especially for the community here in Lunsar, cycling is a culture. The commercial motorbikes try to protect cyclists from the road. And we are trying to make this sensitization all over the country. Sierra Leone, like cyclists to be respected, even though like the roads are not like 100% like roads in Europe, but we are trying to come there culturally.
So Hammer, what do you have to say about the roads?
Yeah, so I want to say there are obviously some undeveloped roads in Sierra Leone, but just like anywhere. But what it is if you compare it to Canada a bit, you have, let's say, densely populated areas, and then in between you have areas where it's just wild and quite a lot of space. But these roads which connect the different provinces together, or the different cities, so let's say where Kareem is, Lunsar to Freetown, the roads actually are quite good. So like if I compare them to roads which I've cycled in Europe and the UK, actually it's not that different in terms of quality.
Well, I've seen pictures of UK roads. I know, but it's like Quebec. Don't get me wrong. We have some pretty bad roads here too.
Yeah.
So Hammer, are you a participant as well as a sponsor?
So I was hoping to participate last year, but the thing is, I'm not going to be participating this year because I'm not fit enough. I really wanted to, but
You don't
the
have a
roads aren't
beginner
the problem.
category?
No, they don't. The
Oh,
roads aren't the problem. It's more the conditions and the climate and getting used to cycling in that sort of temperature, climate resistance. You really need to train. And I would
okay.
have to take 6 to 8 weeks off and just dedicate myself to training. And because of work, I won't be able to. So this year I'll go to support but not compete. But next year I'm hoping to compete.
Okay. This is a very interesting. Let's talk
Okay.
about the climate. Oh, okay. What time of the year is it that your
in March,
event is on?
in March 20, 24th, 25th, 27th, 24th, 25th,
March
26th,
24th, 26th,
20.
20. Okay, so what is the climate like in your part of Africa at that time?
So we make some slight changes here,
Okay.
and for March is the hottest month of the year in Sierra Leone. But however, we did that because Sierra Leone is dominated by Muslims. So, but the whole of April is the month of Ramadan. So we respect that, like it's a cultural thing. So normally April is not hot. The sun is cooling down, like the whole of March is hot, and like by April is cool. So the original month of Tour de Lunsar is April, but this year we changed it because from my experience, it has been affecting us. Whenever we're doing it, we made the month of Ramadan for the Muslims. So March is hot, but we are doing it on the ending. So don't expect it's gonna be too hot, but March is the hottest month in the country.
Are you starting it early in the morning?
Yeah, we start very early in the morning. But please make sure if like anyone wanna come with a lot of sunscreen.
Well, I did a race in July in Utah, and
Utah.
yeah, so I don't know
One
what
of
the
the states,
temperature's
yeah.
like, but that's like the hottest month of the year in the
Yeah.
desert. And it was an adventure race. It's not a cycling race. We were
Okay.
like 8 days, and
Wow.
like there was temperatures like 110 degrees. It was ridiculous. So I'm just thinking, like, sometimes we were hiking, sometimes we were mountain biking. And
Okay.
so I was just like, the weather. But if you're starting earlier, you probably suspect or expect people to finish before the height of the day, like before 1 o'clock. You're
Yeah.
suspecting. Yeah.
You
Wow.
think people will finish before 1 o'clock?
I don't know.
Kareem?
Well, if you're looking at what time are you starting? 6, 7?
No, we start 8.
8. Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you'd start earlier.
Yeah, I
We
was
don't
gonna say
start
with
because
those distances,
it is
with
rate.
those distances, you'll definitely have people still cycling around midday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still cycle even when it is hot, and we
I
still
guess
cycle.
so.
Yeah.
What kind of so we're going to talk to Hammer in a second about his sponsorship but here's a question. If people want to train to come and join this, what are some of the tips that you would give them to properly prepare? Now that it's January, you've got like a month to prepare for this. What would you recommend?
So my recommendation is come maybe around, if you don't want to stay for too long, you come around the ending of February. You can have some good time to train, and you can train around Kabala because it is cold there all the time, not too hot, because it is the northern part of Sierra Leone. You have many mountains around there, and also around Kono is a very good place to train. And yeah, then one of my advice, like, however, just come with sunscreen for the sun not to burn you, just in case. But coming earlier will make you used to the climate.
Right.
They will be able to race and when it comes in terms of racing.
Now, how much climbing is
The climbing,
part of the courses?
we have part of the courses, we have more than 6 climbings, but we only have prizes for one.
Okay, but is there a lot of elevation?
Hills.
Of course.
Yeah, so is there a lot of elevation in the course?
Yes,
In the courses?
of course.
Yes.
So yeah, I would like to jump in on your question about how to prepare. I mean, I think if you're a pretty professional cyclist, then maybe you would be prepared for racing in different conditions and different sorts of climates. But I think if you're an amateur and you wanted to do the Tour de Lunsar, and if you're coming from the West, for example, it is going to be difficult because, as you said, you'll be in winter, and then you want to prepare for what would be a shock to the system. I would combine participating in the Tour de Lunsar with going on holiday to Sierra Leone and maybe arriving 2 or 3 weeks earlier and getting the time to see the country and then training. A lot of people might not know that geographically it's very diverse. It's got some of the best beaches in West Africa, and then lots of mountains, lots of hills. So if you were to find a good base in Freetown or around Kabala, as Kareem said, or even outside of Freetown, you could pretty quickly, I would argue, get in shape because of the diversity in the landscape. There's loads and loads of climbs, which would probably get you in shape quite quickly for the Tour de Lunsar, and would obviously as well prepare you for the heat.
All right, Hammer. So here's a little question. So you said that you don't feel prepared right now to jump in. So what would you do to get ready? What do you know that you would have to do? Because it sounds like you've experienced this before. Yeah, because I'm at the same grid. I know exactly what I need to do to get ready for certain races. So how do you feel about this and your preparedness for next year?
So basically what I would need to do to be ready would be I would have to cycle, I reckon, at least 3 to 4 times a week. Maybe two times a week, like short distance, focusing on climbs intensity, and then try and do at least one long ride a week. And then I would feel ready. But I would have to do that consistently for about 6 to 8 weeks. and I travel for work, so this will be disrupted. And because of this, I would not show up to the Tour de Lunsar like I would for other races. I mean, you would die. I feel like I would die anyway.
Like, this is not a beginner. This is not a course for a beginner, right? So while we're still talking to you, let's talk a bit about your sponsorship and how that came about, and your support for the event.
Okay, so as you may or may not know, I founded my own cycling brand during the lockdown of 2020. It's called
Yay, you're one of those entrepreneurs who put some time to work.
I mean, I had the idea just before, but I mean, obviously this was a time when a lot of people launch things, and this was when we officially launched with a brand which makes cycling caps and musettes out of Ankara material. And these are largely...
It's out of what? What's
Ankara.
Okay.
Ankara is like wax, printed wax.
Oh my God. Okay. So everybody, let's take a minute. So Hammer is just going to talk to you a little bit about his sponsorship. And I just want to share with you that we have an episode with him alone talking about his business, and that will be episode 198. So make sure that you are following this podcast so you don't miss this episode. So all right, continue with the sponsorship. Thank you.
Okay, so I actually knew about Kareem roughly before I knew about the Tour de Lunsar, because I was in Sierra Leone and there was a charity event organized for breast cancer and breast cancer awareness, and the organizer sort of organized an event where you could walk or you could cycle. and Kareem was the one who was providing the technical support and the bikes. So this is when I first heard about him, but I wasn't aware of the Tour de Lunsar at that time. I think I was in London in summer 2020, and a lot of people got into cycling during lockdown, as you know. And I was on a social ride promoting the caps, and there was another Sierra Leonean, and he was telling me about how Le Col had produced these Sierra Leonean cycling jerseys, and I was really surprised about it. And when I looked into it, I saw that they were sponsoring one of the more, well, so as Kareem said, there's been quite a few Tour de Lunsars before, but there was one, the first sort of international one, internationally recognized one. And that's how I learned about the Tour de Lunsar, and I was like, oh, that's great. I mean, one of the aims of AfriCap is to sort of provide support to grassroots cycling initiatives in Sierra Leone, and that's why we wanted to get involved and help out where we can.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. I mean, it's obviously great exposure for you, but also supporting the local event. So let's cap it up and say, is your registration still open for taking in teams?
Of course, it's still open.
I hope so.
Open. And yeah, you asked if beginners can come. Yes, you can come ride the one day with the junior and female rider.
Okay.
Yeah. The registration is still open until the 10th of March.
Oh, okay. So like right up to the event. Now let's talk about the women's event. Like, how many women do you get on the start line now? Because I know that like there's talk like more. I'm watching some the Flame cycling down in Freetown, and you mentioned it. There are more women getting involved. Like, how exciting is that? Like, how many women are you getting out on the start line, or you expect to get out?
For this year, I'm expecting to get like 25 women, maybe for the first time.
That's good.
Yeah, meaning
that's a good number. Like when I raced, that's probably about the number that was on the start line, maybe 25 to 40. Yeah. It's it's a big that's a whole other topic, but it's a big issue trying to get women to participate in a cycling event. There's a lot of fear wrapped around it. Pelotons, riding closely, things like that. So but we're working as an organization here to make it better, make it more beginner friendly to, like different categories, beginner category, Cat D all the way to Cat A, so that you get more people out and just beginner and don't feel intimidated by racing with A category, category A, which is like pro level, right? So when you have everybody together, you don't feel, I mean, it is what it is, but if you can break it up, women will feel more comfortable racing at a beginner level and then moving up the ranks as they get better. So there's no pressure. There's like, so, but yeah, that's exciting.
What are the age groups of the participants, the female participants you have? Kareem, is it quite mixed?
The oldest one we have is Aisha Samonde. It makes she's like 34, and all the rest of them are from 15 to 23 years.
Yeah, those are the juniors.
Yes,
the junior. That's a long distance for junior women's category, but hey, I guess that's the only. Is that like a main loop that you have?
Well, originally it's not like the 120 kilometers is a whole hot riding, like, and you have to tour around Lunsar. You ride around, and before you exit. So originally,
I see. Okay, I got it. So I'm picturing like this loop out into the country around to all these different villages and then back in, but it's a loop that you have them going around.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. All right. That's amazing. Is there anything else that you want to share about your event?
Well, just we are still looking forward to invite you to come to Sierra Leone. And if you are a cyclist around the world, you want to experience cycling in Africa more, especially Sierra Leone, I want to tell you that Sierra Leone is a very good place for cycling. It's very safe. People are friendly. I open-heartedly invite you to come to Sierra Leone, then at least help us expose Sierra Leone to the world for cycling. That is my message I have to say to all cyclists or people that are gonna listen to this. And even if you don't come, you wanna support Sierra Leone or Sierra Leonean cyclists, or you wanna support Tour de Lunsar or the cycling team, either Lunsar Cycling or any other team here, we always welcome you. Don't hesitate to contact me. I will give you the details, then walk you through.
I love it. And one of the things about being a podcaster and reaching out to people is finding these things out. Like I would never have, you know, I mean, I follow you guys on Instagram. And I spoke with somebody in Cape Town who does a tour, a rescue, ride to rescue is for animal shelters down there. And that was amazing to talk to her. And then you guys, this is really, really fascinating. And I'm really excited that you are working so hard to create that cycling environment where you are. And hats off to you. So everyone there, where can we find you on socials?
Social media, check on Lunsar Cycling Team, and you can check on Lunsar Cycling on Instagram, Lunsar Cycling on Twitter, and you can check on our website, Lunsar Cycling. Then personally for me, Abdul Karim Kamara Stylish, you can find me. Then on Instagram, the same thing, you can find me.
Perfect. So basically everywhere. So Lunsar Cycling, just Google it and you'll find it everywhere. Thank you so much. And don't forget to everybody to put your notifications on and follow the podcast. We will be having Hammer on. He'll be talking about his AfriCap. Is it AfriCap or is it
AfriCap? Yeah.
AfriCap on episode 198. And we'll also be talking to Stylish, the person, in episode 195. So make sure that, because we were just talking about the event, these two gentlemen have extraordinary stories in themselves. So you don't want to miss those. So with that, thank you very much, everyone, for jumping into this episode. If you're in their neighborhood, make sure you go and participate or support or at least follow and share their pages. And we'll see you on the next episode. Thanks, everyone.